I'm sure you've heard the news. The Pacific Islands are facing an unprecedented crisis due to global warming. Names that conjure images of paradise: Fiji, Samoa, the Marshall Islands, crystal clear turquoise waters, pristine beaches, lush green forests. These islands are home to vibrant cultures, rich traditions, and warm, welcoming people. But today, this paradise faces a grave threat, a threat that could see entire islands swallowed by the sea, their beauty lost forever. That threat is climate change. The science is clear and irrefutable. Global temperatures are rising at an alarming rate, primarily due to human activities. This warming is causing sea levels to rise and is increasing the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events. For the Pacific Islands, these changes are not a distant threat, but a devastating reality. This is a story of survival, of resilience, and of a global community facing a defining challenge. It is a story that demands our attention, our empathy, and most importantly, our action. Imagine your home slowly disappearing beneath the waves. This is the reality for many Pacific Islanders. As global temperatures rise, glaciers and ice sheets melt at an accelerated pace, adding more water to our oceans. This, combined with the expansion of seawater as it warms, is causing sea levels to rise. For low-lying island nations, even a small rise in sea level can be catastrophic. In places like Kiribati, the Marshall Islands, and Tuvalu, entire villages are being relocated as saltwater intrusion contaminates freshwater sources and floods homes. The very land these communities have called home for generations is literally vanishing beneath their feet. The consequences are dire. Loss of land leads to displacement, food insecurity, and economic hardship. It also threatens the very existence of these nations, their cultures, and their unique identities. The wrath of a changing climate is felt not only in rising seas, but also in the increasing ferocity of storms. The Pacific Ocean, once a source of sustenance and tranquility, is now a breeding ground for more frequent and intense cyclones. These storms, with their powerful winds, torrential rains, and storm surges, leave a trail of devastation in their wake. Homes are reduced to rubble, crops are destroyed, and infrastructure is crippled. The economic cost of rebuilding after each storm is staggering, pushing these vulnerable nations further into debt and hindering their development. But the true cost goes far beyond the financial. The psychological toll on communities repeatedly struck by these disasters is immense. The trauma of loss, the fear of the next storm, and the uncertainty of the future weigh heavily on the minds of the islanders, particularly the young. Section 4, Coral Graveyards, Ecosystems on the Brink. Beneath the surface of the Pacific Ocean lies a world of vibrant colors and astonishing biodiversity. Coral reefs, often called the rainforests of the sea, are home to a quarter of all marine species. They provide food security, protect coastlines from erosion, and support livelihoods through tourism and fishing. But these vital ecosystems are under immense stress. As ocean temperatures rise, corals expel the algae living in their tissues, causing them to turn white and eventually die. This process, known as coral bleaching, is a stark visual reminder of the ocean's deteriorating health. Adding to this, ocean acidification caused by the absorption of excess carbon dioxide from the atmosphere inhibits the growth and survival of corals and other marine organisms. The degradation of coral reefs has devastating consequences for Pacific Islanders who rely heavily on the ocean for their livelihoods and sustenance. It threatens food security, disrupts traditional fishing practices, and increases the vulnerability of coastal communities to erosion and storm surges. The loss of these vibrant ecosystems is not only an ecological tragedy, but also a profound cultural loss. Section 5, Uprooted, Losing Homes, Losing Heritage. The impacts of climate change on the Pacific Islands extend far beyond the physical environment. They strike at the very heart of what it means to belong, to have a home, to be rooted in a place. For generations, Pacific Islanders have lived in deep connection with their land and ocean. Their cultures, traditions, and very identities are intertwined with the natural world. The loss of land due to rising sea levels and the increasing frequency of natural disasters is forcing communities to relocate, often far from their ancestral lands. This displacement severs the deep ties between people and place, leading to a loss of cultural identity, traditional knowledge, and spiritual well-being. The forced migration of climate refugees is a tragedy unfolding before our eyes. It is a stark reminder of the human cost of climate change, a cost that is often overlooked in discussions dominated by economic and environmental impacts.